First off, a big disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor, so before you make any big financial decisions, consult with a professional. Welcome to the fourth video in our Roaming Finance series, the series that covers the steps to financial independence. If you're not quite sure what financial independence means, be sure to check out our first video on that topic. There are 5 key steps to financial independence. Number 1 is reducing your monthly expenses, which videos 2 and 3 covered extensively. Step number 2 is increasing your monthly income, which will be covered in future videos. This video will cover step 3, paying off your debt. Before we talk about step number 3, eliminating debt, let's learn about the force that underlies all debt, interest. There are 2 types of interest. With the first type, simple interest, you have the principal, the original amount that you borrow, and a flat percentage on that amount. For example, if you're loaned $1,000 for a year at 10% simple interest, you'll owe the lender $1,100 at the end of the year. Compound interest, on the other hand, is a magical thing that can truly make you money while you sleep, or completely bankrupt you, depending on which side of the force you're on. You can take advantage of the light side of the compound interest force by investing your savings. For instance, let's say you put $10,000 into an investment that pays 5%. Note that most percentages are quoted per annum or on a yearly basis. To calculate your payoff, simply multiply 10,000 by 1.05, and at the end of the year, you are $500 richer. The key to compounding is reinvesting. In year 2, that $500 gets added to the original amount and gets multiplied by 1.05 again, giving you $11,025. That may not seem huge, but after a while it starts snowballing. At year 10, you have $16,000. And at year 25, it's grown to almost $34,000. And get this, if you had managed to get a 10% return on that money instead of 5%, you would have $108,000 at the end of 25 years. Notice that doubling the interest rate has more than tripled your return. That's the power of compound interest. That same amazing force works against you when you're borrowing. When you borrow money, someone on the other end is investing, so the equation works in reverse. A 25-year mortgage on $500,000 at 5% means that in addition to paying back the $500K principal, you'll also have to pay $372K in interest. Even more sinister, some credit cards have an interest rate of 20% or more, meaning that carrying a balance of $5,000 could cost you $1,000 in a year. That leads us to step 3 of the path to financial independence. Pay off all of your high-interest debt. The average credit card rate is 19%, with some much higher. It's extremely unlikely that you'll exceed this rate on your investments. So paying off your credit card debt should be your number 1 priority. After that, you should focus on car loans and student debt. The next question is, should you pay off your mortgage? Well, yes, everyone should pay off their mortgage and has to eventually. So the real question is, how quickly should you pay off your mortgage? Well, the answer to that depends on what do you plan to do with the funds that you would have otherwise put into your mortgage. If you can invest them at a higher rate than your mortgage rate, then congrats, you've beat the bank at their own game. But just remember that carries with it some risk, and banks are pretty good at playing that game. That segues nicely into the topic of risk. When it comes to investing, some people say the higher the risk, the higher the reward, which is almost true. The higher the risk, the higher the potential gain, but also the higher the potential loss. As we've seen recently, and many times historically, the stock market can be a heck of a roller coaster. So we've covered the topic of interest and checked off step 3, eliminating high-interest debt. In the next video, we learn about interest rates, emergency funds, and where you should be investing your money. For more on this topic, be sure to check out our other roaming finance videos.